Welcome back to the JNT That's How It Be podcast.
Woo.
Today, we are going to talk about two phones.
Yes.
The
I got
iPhone
two
13.
phones. Sorry.
Okay, bud.
Sorry.
Today, we're going to talk about the iPhone 13 and the Google Pixel 6.
Hey. These phones are coming out somewhat soon on the market.
Yes.
I believe I saw September 14th, maybe? Like, that's any second, isn't it?
Yeah, that's like in 2 days for us, for right now.
Oh, it was... No. Release will be on September 24th, I believe.
I saw the 14th.
I think that's when, like...
It was supposed to.
I don't know. Oh, announced... I think when it was first announced, it was going to be September 14th, and then they pushed it back.
Oh, it says unveiled on September 14th.
Well, it's not even been September. Oh, you know what? It's because... Yeah, so basically, they haven't specifically said what the specs are, but there's been leaks that kind of tell us what's going to be inside of these phones. So
Yes.
that kind of helps us get a look.
Yeah, so for me, I have the Google Pixel, was it 3, I think?
Maybe.
And I haven't had an iPhone since like the iPhone 5, like iPhone 5A or whatever they called it.
Right.
And that thing sucked. And I haven't been back to iPhone since.
Well,
but
I've been strong iPhone. When I didn't get my first phone until I was like 12 and a half, and it was a flip phone, and I literally had it for a month, and then ended up getting my dad's old iPhone 4.
Oh, geez.
That's like, and before that,
that's ancient.
Before that, I had my dad's old iPod Touch 4.
Oh
which
my
is even,
gosh.
And guess what? I actually have those with me somewhere in this room, which is
of course you do.
Actually insane. They don't really work, but I have them.
Well, yeah, if they worked, that would be crazy.
Yeah, but anyways, after I got that iPhone 4, after a while, ended up with an iPhone 6, and that stayed strong for me. Honestly, iPhone 6 was like running strong for me up until I got my iPhone 11, which is what I have now. So,
jeez.
Yep.
Yeah, I haven't been back to iPhone since that iPhone 5. I absolutely hated that thing, but we got it used.
That's part of it.
It was already in bad condition.
Yeah, I mean,
and my mom had it before me.
The battery was probably already on its way out.
Yeah, the battery sucked.
Yeah.
And it wasn't in good shape.
Yes, sir.
I have been looking at getting a new iPhone soon. Like, I'm looking into it.
Yeah.
And that's kind of why we're doing this, because when the iPhone 13 comes out, the 12 and 11 prices will go down.
Yes.
And so this might convince me to get an iPhone.
Yep.
Soon.
We're going to talk about design, specs, all that good stuff, and bring you the latest and greatest of what's coming, I guess.
Yeah. And during all break, I was taking a quick look at it, and I don't like what Google Pixel did to the phone. I don't like the look of it.
Yeah.
And it seems like they're trying to compete with iPhone, compete with Apple like every other person is.
Yeah.
But they didn't do a good job with this. I'm looking at it right now, and it's not. Like, it seems like what I've seen with like commercials and ads and stuff like that the Google Pixel's big thing is that the battery can last for like 2 days or whatever like that.
Supposedly.
Yeah. And that's really it for them. Like, I don't see a whole lot with this. It looks like it'll come out later than the iPhone will.
Yeah.
And the stupid camera on the Google Pixel.
Yeah, dude.
It literally pops out of the phone. It's a giant line on the top.
Bro, yeah.
And why did they have to change it? Like, it
I'm
was good.
I'm guessing they did that for like to get like because they put black around it, that black that they put around it. I'm guessing that somehow makes the photos better, but
I don't know. Maybe like more options for cameras.
perhaps. And honestly, well, I mean, people have talked about this. Possibly like the camera modules could actually detach and you could put like your own on.
I don't know.
I'm not
It
sure if
doesn't
that's
look
true.
good though.
No, it doesn't. It looks really ugly.
Yeah, and on my Pixel, there's a like little circle that you can put like your fingerprint on,
Yeah.
and I absolutely really like it
Yeah.
on the back of it because you can just hold the phone, press it, and it turns on, it unlocks, all that.
Yes. Right.
I don't see that on here.
Well, okay, so they might have. I've heard rumors about this. Um, First of all, possibly Face ID. Um,
I don't care for Face ID though, to be honest.
oh,
Like,
okay, yeah,
I get like it's convenient, but especially now it's like masks and stuff like that, it doesn't work well.
yeah, exactly.
Fingerprint reader. We're happy to report that Google seems to be ditching the rear-mounted fingerprint sensor.
Okay. Does
I
it
don't know
say?
how I
Does it
feel
say
about
what they're
that.
replacing it with?
Um, Under display fingerprint scanner. So
Okay, I
it
actually
looks
okay, I
like
did hear about this. So literally, all you have to do is hold your phone on the screen, like literally, like put your thumb on the screen, and it'll unlock.
oh, so just they're just
It's
copying
so it's
what
still I think it's still Touch ID,
iPhone did.
but it's like using the screen itself, which
So
is
they're pretty much just copying Apple, but a couple years behind.
well, Apple like
Didn't they used to do something like that?
so they had it where it was a button, but it wasn't on the screen. This is literally like
Oh
on the
yeah, yeah,
physical screen. Like you see this little like this is where the flashlight is.
yeah.
Um, it literally be like putting your thumb there, and it would scan it underneath the screen.
Huh.
And yeah,
It's kind of cool that you don't get to see it,
yes,
but also I liked having the fingerprint thing on the back.
that's
Like
fair.
you, especially if you have like a pop socket or something like that, you just hold it and it's unlocked.
Yeah,
Like it's so smooth and it feels natural and everything.
yeah, exactly.
Uh, I just like that technology, and especially when like going into apps, like if you, I don't know what app uses this, but I have a certain app that uses it, and to get into it, you can either put in a password or you can do
Yeah,
like your fingerprint,
yeah,
and it just makes it easy because your finger's already there.
yeah,
In my mind, it's just easier that way.
yeah. I honestly, for me, um, like this is a hard thing to do. Like it's a really hard thing to be able to get a fingerprint scanner underneath
Yes.
the screen. So for me, I really love the ingenuity, like the to Google, like props to them for
Yeah.
designing that because that's
Oh
a
yeah.
really hard thing to do. Um, I personally would probably prefer it on the screen just because right now what's on the market is everybody's trying to get the complete full screen,
Oh
you
yeah.
know? So that way there's no
I absolutely
notch, there's
love
nothing
that
like that.
design though. I love that companies are trying to do that
Yeah.
because there's just something so slick about that
Yes,
that
exactly.
I
About just
absolutely
a
love.
full screen, you know? And so that's the reason why Google is doing that. Um,
Yeah.
so that way it keeps the back clean. They're also trying to keep the back clean, which they didn't do a great job of because they put a weird blocky camera on the back.
Yeah. I don't like that at all.
No,
It's not good.
yeah, but I love that they did the fingerprint scanner. I think
Yeah.
Face ID, um, Face ID works, but sometimes it's just really inconvenient.
Yeah.
Like if you're
It
wearing
is.
sunglasses or something, like it doesn't work
Yeah.
half the time. It's things like that.
Yeah,
If you're wearing
yes.
masks, it doesn't work. So
I've never had a phone that had that. So could you do like one that's just your face, one with your sunglasses on or whatever you have on
no,
normally?
unfortunately, no. So what it does is it doesn't actually look at the image of your face. It actually what it does is it measures the depth of everything on your face. So it measures like the depth of your nose, the depth of your lips, the depth of your eyes. Like it measures that, and then unlocks your phone based on that. Not just based on your image, but actually measurements of your face, which is super cool. Definitely one of the coolest things that Apple has designed, in my opinion.
Yeah, that is cool.
But it's also really fast too. Like literally, I'll show you right here. All I have to do is look at it and swipe up. That's it. Like it's very fast, very convenient. So
yeah, and when it comes to like fingerprint stuff, like a lot of times it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Like if you have sweaty fingers or something like that, it's not going to work at all.
Yeah.
Or like
for sure.
A bunch of dirt on your fingers or whatever, which happens to me a lot. Yeah. It doesn't work out too well.
I think the other thing too is like not having a button though. Because a big problem with the iPhones as they got all older with those buttons was the buttons started to not work. Yeah. With the Google Pixel 6, you still have the fingerprint scanner, but because there's no button, like it doesn't have to break. Like the button isn't there to get broken. So
yeah, I do like how there's no button.
Yeah, I think that's really smart on Google's part.
Yes.
So, but anyways,
I did find that Google is hoping. Well, this is speculation that they are hoping. The high hopes for the Google Pixel 6 is that they will sell over 50% larger than the amount in 2019.
Yeah.
50% more. I don't believe that. Like just looking at
the Pixel.
Yeah. Like just looking at what it looks like, I don't think people are going to go for that, to be honest.
As far as looks go, no. But I'm looking at the specs right now, especially for the Pro. Like the Pro.
How much is the Pro compared to the iPhone?
Price wise, is that
because
what you're saying?
Yeah, because I'm looking at it a little bit, and it looks like no, that's not right. That's
I'm looking for price right now. Price. It looks like, I mean, the Pixel 5, it's telling me what the Pixel 5s and 4s were, but it's not saying anything about the other stuff.
I wonder if it's not out yet.
It probably isn't.
I can just type it in.
Yeah, Google Pixel 6 price. We'll look real quick. Yeah, it doesn't look like it actually has a price yet.
I wonder if it's just too far out for
probably
it to look like. But it looks like Google Pixel 5, it's still up there, like $700, $800.
So this says that it's possible that the Pixel 6 could start at $999.
Yeah.
So
that's what it starts at.
Yeah. Now
that's what the iPhone 13 is gonna stop out at. Like the Google or the iPhone 13 Max or Pro or whatever they're calling it now, it ends at what is it, 1100?
Yeah, something like that.
I think it's 1100.
Let me double check prices.
Yeah, 1099. Like,
yeah,
that's the most you'll get, and that's the top of it.
Yeah. Wait.
Like
that was and that's the same for the 13 because the iPhone 12 Max was 1099.
Yeah, what they're saying is that when they come out the new iPhone, they're pretty much the same. So when the iPhone 12 comes out, or when the iPhone 12 came out, the starting price was about $700, and then it went up to $900, and then $1,000, and then so on.
Yeah.
They're thinking this is from like the Verizon app or the Verizon website.
Gotcha.
And it's saying that the pricing will be pretty much the same, but it'll probably be changed a little bit. Like it'll go up a small bit because that's what iPhone does. And really with every phone, it always goes up.
Right. Yeah.
So I'm thinking just price alone, iPhone would be the best for that.
Probably. Yeah.
1 point to iPhone.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna go through some of the specs, just
Okay.
a few here. So obviously, iOS 13 or 14 or maybe 15. Where are we at? We're on 14. So iOS 15 and Android 12 will be the operating systems for these guys. Not much to that. That's just how they run.
Yep.
Here's something interesting for me. Um, so the resolution for all of the iPhones is going to be for all of them is going to basically be full HD. So we're talking around
Ooh.
basically just over 1080p. Um, and then the Google Pixel 6 oh here, actually let me say this first too. So the refresh rate which is basically how many frames per second for the iPhone 13 and the iPhone 13 mini is going to be 60 frames per second. For the
That's
iPhone
pretty
13
good.
Pro and the iPhone 13 Pro Max, it's going to be 120.
Wow.
Yeah. Now, the Google Pixel 6, just the 6, is going to be full HD, like 1080p, a little higher, and 90 hertz. So, and then the Pro is going to be 2K resolution at 120 hertz.
Jeez.
Which is like super duper nice, like a beautiful
Yeah.
screen. Now, I will say, a screen that has that many pixels and that fast of a refresh rate, the more pixels you add, the faster your battery is going to go down. Now,
Yes.
I think Google does a good job of compensating with this because
They do.
for the Pixel 6, they have a 4,614 milliamp hours battery, and the 6 Pro is exactly a 5,000 milliamp hours battery. iPhone, the Mini is only a 2,406 milliamp hour, so basically half the Pixel 6 Pro. And then the iPhone 13 Pro is 4,325 milliamp hours. Now, looking at all the specs that I am right now, it honestly looks like the as far as things like the screen, like the pixels need that extra bulky battery because
Yeah.
of running things like that thicker screen in there. So
Yeah.
as far as battery is concerned, I want to say that the 13 Pro Max and the 6 Pro, the Pixel 6 Pro, would basically probably be similar in amount of time they could last. Um, if you're doing things like as far as like gaming is concerned, probably. Now, what I do want to look up actually is I want to look up real quick the processing chips for both these guys and kind of compare those. So while I'm doing that, if
Yeah.
you want to talk about, I don't know, something else with them, you can.
Yeah. When I've been looking at this for a little bit, it looks like they have come out and say that they do have battery problems with the iPhone 13.
Hmm.
They normally have like a really big battery. Uh, it looks like it. I don't know if this is entirely correct, but it says for the iPhone 13 Pro Max, it has increased 18%.
Hmm. Gotcha.
And I don't know. I don't know if that will make up the difference for like the processing power that it has, like how much it will affect it.
Yeah.
But it looks like it might, and it'll probably be the same as the 12, honestly,
Gotcha.
for like battery loss. That's just what I'm looking at,
Right.
and like my experience with like batteries and stuff like that. It looks like it'll be about the same with the 12
Gotcha.
because of the processing power it'll take for the iPhone 13, along with that increased battery. It
Sorry.
looks like the charging speed will be the same as well.
Gotcha.
It just looks like the charging and stuff like that will be the same. It is a more powerful iPhone. They have iOS 15,
Yep.
which I actually haven't heard a whole bunch about iOS
Yeah,
15.
same. I think people are more concerned about the hardware rather than the software.
That's true.
That's the big thing.
Yeah. I do like how the camera looks on this.
Yes, it does. Apple keeps to their normal looking kind of camera scheme, keeping it pretty
Yeah.
simple. I'm sure.
Yeah,
I think they received a lot of good feedback from that, so that's why they said keep it.
yeah. With it looks like the base model 13, they have the two cameras and it's like diagonal from each other,
Right.
which I like that a lot. And like the color goes into the camera. Like you have the little brick in the corner that it has, and it has like the color going into it, which I like.
Right.
Did they have that with the previous models or not?
What was it?
The like camera where the back color goes into it a little bit.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. That's even with mine. The iPhone 11, they have that too. So
I wonder, I'm just thinking about like the Pro Max, how it's just like black normally
yeah,
around the three cameras.
yeah. I'm trying to look. Here we go. Tensor chip. That's what I want to look at.
But I say if we're looking at just design, iPhone wins 100%.
For sure. Agreed.
Like I don't like the camera in the back. It separates what the phone should be. And I'm looking at the Google Pixel 6 right now, and
Yeah.
it looks like you can have different colors on the top of the camera. Like you have three sections of the back pretty much. You have the top piece, you have the big section for the camera, and then you have the rest of the phone.
Yeah.
It looks like on the top piece and the bottom piece can be different colors.
Mm.
And I don't like that.
Yeah.
It like I'm looking at some pictures and they have like black and like gun steel and they have like a tan color and like a yellow and it not good.
Yeah.
I just recommend staying to one color on the phone, to be honest.
Yeah.
Or rather a design if you want to do more than one color to it.
Yes, sir. So I just did a little bit of research on the processing power for both these guys.
Okay.
The Google Pixel 6 has something called a tensor chip. And basically, so what this tensor chip does is it focuses less on raw performance and power, and instead it tries to focus on the AI capabilities of the phone. So basically, trying to let the phone adapt to you, basically, is really
Is
what
that for the
trying to
iPhone?
focus on. No, this is the Google Pixel 6.
Okay.
So both the Google Pixel 6 and the Pixel 6 Pro will probably have what looks like the same processor, this Google Tensor processor, which is kind of cool for Google to be making their own processor. It's probably more affordable that way.
Probably.
And also it lets them have more, like, they can kind of make the phones how they want them to be, kind of optimize it, which is a good thing. That for the Pixels, having a specific processor that's optimized for exactly that phone by the same company is honestly, it's probably pretty good then. Probably will be
they
pretty
probably put a
smooth.
lot of thought into it.
Now, like I said before, they didn't give it a whole lot of oomph. Like I said, they're not really focused on power so much.
Yeah, I wonder if this is like more of a test for that.
So,
Like
however, the iPhone 13 processor, which is the A15 chip.
Yes.
So I have an iPhone 11, which has Apple's A13 chip in it. And so I'm looking at performance here. There's a single core score and then a multi-core score, because they have multiple cores and stuff. And basically what I'm looking at here is with the A13 chip, the single core score was 1,334. The A14 was 1,601. And based on the trend of the curve, it looks like it's like curving upward. So
Hmm.
we could see a score of possibly like 2,000 for the A15. This
Jeez.
processor is supposed to be pretty fast, is what I'm seeing here. Like definitely something crazy. It literally
How much?
says what
How much like more powerful will it be than like the 12? Do you think?
than the iPhone 12's processor.
Yeah.
It's really confusing because the iPhone 12 has an A14 processor. Um,
Huh.
yeah, it
Interesting.
it looks like it's definitely um, yeah. This is saying like this is completely like insane how powerful this A15 is supposed to be. It looks like it looks like it'll be a score of even more than 1800, and right now it's saying that a score of 1800 would be 75% faster than the Galaxy S21's processor, which
Oh.
is absolutely crazy.
Yes. So I looked farther down, and it looks like the release date for the iPhone 13 will be September 24th.
Yeah, and
But
so
that's when the pre-order, but with pre-orders starting on the 17th.
okay, so September 14th is when they're actually going to announce the specs. They're going to
Yes.
announce the actual specs for the phone in 2 days.
Yeah.
Which by the way, we're doing this podcast on the 12th. So honestly,
Yeah.
by
We
the
probably should
time,
have did this to begin with.
well, by the time that our listeners are listening to this podcast, because it's supposed to be out on Tuesday, that's the day that the specs get released. So that's kind of cool.
Yes.
Um,
I honestly might upload this before the last one we did, honestly.
I mean, okay.
Maybe.
The but the A12. So I'm looking on here. Um, but like the A11 chip, which was in, I believe, the iPhone 8, um,
Yeah.
or maybe the iPhone 10. I'm not sure. Um, this is supposed to be twice as powerful as that. Basically, this
Ooh.
processor is going to be like twice as powerful. Basically, um, almost, not quite. Multi for single core, yes. For multi core, not so much. Um, as far as graphics go, because they also have a GPU, we're looking at the biggest jump that happened with the GPU was between the A12 and the A13 chip, which was iPhone 10 to iPhone 11. Literally went from a 4,000 score of 4,000 to a score of 6,500,
Jeez.
which is insane. So we're looking at pretty much nothing else crazy cool with gaming. I mean, they're definitely gonna like the score is gonna go up some, not a whole lot though. It's gonna be basically kind of a slight jump. So as far as gaming goes, the processor will be better for gaming, but the GPU not as much. The graphics processor.
Yeah.
Um, so your graphics will basically look the same, but your processor will be able to run the game a little smoother.
Yeah.
Um, so this is cool. So currently in PCs right now, we use something called DDR4 RAM. Um, that's kind of what PCs are using right now. But it looks like in the iPhone 13, there might be something called DDR5 RAM, but it's like mobile, so it's really small. But I mean, that's got to be insanely fast if they're putting that inside of it.
Yeah.
Um, it looks. Oh, hold up. No, never mind. My bad. Just telling y'all, the Galaxy S21 does have DDR5 RAM. iPhone looks like it's going to be DDR4X, which is still pretty fast. I mean, they're calling it a whole bunch of stuff. I think it's because they just haven't figured out DDR5 for
Mm.
PCs yet, but it's supposed to be pretty good. I'm gonna guess that The iPhone 13, it hasn't said anything about RAM. I'm going to guess it's going to be somewhere around 8 to 12, depending on what model you get. If you look at the Google Pixel 6, RAM is going to be 8 gigabytes for the Pixel 6, 12 gigabytes for the Pixel 6 Pro.
Nice.
Yeah. Let's look here.
Honestly, looking at the iPhone 13, I'm getting excited for this,
Oh,
honestly.
yeah. Dude, it's awesome. Looking
Like,
at...
if I had the crap ton of money to put down on probably the base model, probably.
Yeah.
Not the mini, but above that.
Right.
Like, maybe.
Yeah.
I just might. Just for the views.
I will say, camera-wise, Google Pixel 6 definitely has an upward gain on the iPhone 13. The iPhone 13, the 13 and the Mini have two 12-megapixel cameras on the front, and then the 13 Pro and Pro Max have three 13-megapixel cameras, and the selfie camera, or no, I'm sorry, they both have three 12-megapixel cameras, and the selfie camera is a 12-megapixel as well. For the Google Pixel 6, this is kind of crazy. Pixel 6 back camera has a 50 megapixel wide angle camera plus a 12 megapixel ultra wide angle camera. And then they both have those cameras on the Pro plus a 48 megapixel telephoto camera. Ooh. Which is kind of interesting. The Pixel 6, however, has the front camera, basically the one facing you, actually is only 8 megapixel, so not as good as any of the iPhone 13s, but the Pixel 6 Pro does have the 12 megapixel selfie camera, so same as the iPhone. Storage-wise, looks like the Google Pixel 6... just the regular 6 will be available in either 128 or 256 gigabytes. The 6 Pro will also have a 512 gigabyte possibility. The iPhone 13 doesn't say specifically, but it's saying on here that it could be up to a terabyte.
Yeah, that's what I saw.
Which is absolutely insane. The fact that we're finally getting iPhones, or phones in general, that have a terabyte of storage.
Oh, yeah.
That blows my mind. Like, I'm like, you know.
Who needs that much space?
I know. Like, I mean, I can fit most of the games I play on my PC in 1 terabyte. Like,
that's crazy, dude.
Right. It's just ridiculous just how much storage that really is. I mean, like... Yes. And honestly, like, with the way the phone cameras are getting and, like, how much storage those take up, honestly.
Yes.
It's just like, wow. You know? That's honestly what takes up most of the storage in phones now. And they just keep getting bigger. Like, they keep making them bigger because people keep filling them up, which is just insane to me.
Yeah. I think it's just moms just taking pictures. They're saying, I don't have enough room for all my pictures of my kids.
Yeah. I did forget to mention the size of the displays specifically.
Ooh, the display on the iPhone 13, I really like it.
Yeah, so the 13 Pro Max and the Pixel 6 Pro both have 6.7-inch screens. So those are roughly the same size. The Pixel 6 is bigger than the 13 and the 13 Pro. The Pixel 6 has a 6.4-inch screen, and the 13 and 13 Pro have a 6.1-inch. And the 13 Mini has this tiny 5.4-inch screen.
Yes.
And, you know, they did this with the 12 too, like the Mini, basically. I think it's a really good idea. It really broadens their market so that, you know, there are some people that when that had like their iPhone 6, they had their small iPhone 6, and that's lasted them. I mean, my sister is still using an iPhone 6 right now, and it's working like just fine. I mean, the battery sucks, but
yeah, that's bound to happen on phones like that.
Yeah, they just run down over time. However, it's really for audiences like that where they just they like the small screen. They don't need
Yes.
a big screen. And I really like that Apple is finally playing into that. And then also, Apple just has the money to do things like that. Like
They do.
make four different types of one model of iPhone is just like, you gotta have a lot of money and a big consumer
A
amount
big paycheck.
yes, a bit. Well, and you need like just a ton of consumers to be able to do that. And Apple has that number. They have that advantage. So
Yeah. I will say I really like what they do with the mini.
yeah,
For me, I think it's a bit small,
it is.
but I'm used to a bigger phone than that. I'm sure I could get used to that,
Yeah,
but it wouldn't be the phone I would go with.
yeah.
I would need, well, I would want, I wouldn't really need, but
Well,
I would want the one above that.
yeah, which is the normal size. I'm pretty sure my
Yeah.
iPhone 11 is the same size as that. Let me look up screen size of an iPhone 11 real quick.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
the
pretty sure
iPhone
it's
the
the
iPhone
same.
11 is just barely. It's literally like 5/100ths of an inch, 4/100ths of an inch smaller than the iPhone 13. It's 6.06 inches. I just looked up the iPhone 6 screen size, which I've had the 6. I had the 6 for a long time. 4.7 inches. So,
Oh my gosh.
for those of you that know what the iPhone 6 still looks like, have like an idea of how small that thing is in your brain.
It was tiny.
Now, to be fair, it also didn't take up the entire screen. Like the new phones take up the
Yes.
entire screen. It had the button on it and stuff, and the entire notch at the top. So it'd basically be an iPhone 6 size, but with the entire phone as the screen, not just most of the phone.
Yeah. And to think that was normal back then.
I know, right?
Like,
It's just crazy.
that is crazy. Like the mini now is like what it was back then.
Yeah. The mini is
That's nuts.
literally as far as size goes, it's literally an iPhone 6, but the entire screen instead of the button at the bottom and stuff.
Yeah.
So
That's just crazy to
Which
think about.
honestly, the iPhone 6 was very light, very compact. Other than the fact that they bent.
Yeah.
You remember that?
Yeah.
That was
we had a big problem
I
with that.
remember getting an iPhone 6 and remembering the fact that like people were doing like all these bend tests with them.
Yeah.
I still have my 6, and there has been multiple times when I've been like, maybe I should just do it for the fun of it, because
If you do, you have to
record it.
You have to record
Yes,
it.
because the 6 that I have with me is like, it does not work unless it's on the charger. Basically, I don't know if it's just the battery is like so dead on it that it can't function anymore, but
Maybe.
yeah. I also have I think it was my junior year of high school. I 3D printed a case for my iPhone 6, and I still have that too, which I think is really cool. I think that's the one thing that's keeping me from bending that phone, is like being able to just like see that I built that case for it, and it's
I mean, you can take the case off. You don't have to break the case.
I know.
Just break the phone.
But then I don't have a phone to put in the case to make it look cool. I don't know. But
I know, but
yeah.
phone that doesn't work just because you have a case, breaking the phone.
But I made that case, so it's important to me. You know what? Maybe I'll just I'll bend the phone and then bend it back and just put it back in the case.
Send it.
Full
on send it.
Full send. Yep.
Yep. Yeah, so I honestly wish I could buy the iPhone 13. Looking at it,
Yeah.
like
Um,
I am excited for
I
this.
would I would recommend um personally for me it looks like the main difference between the 13 and the 13 Pro is one, the refresh rate of the screen. So you'd be getting a
Yes.
120 refresh rate instead of a 60 refresh rate. And then on the camera on the back, you're going to get that third 12 megapixel camera on the back. But other than that, they're basically the same. Um,
Yeah.
Price wise, you know,
It's like $100 more, I think. Maybe 200.
it was for the 12 to the 12 Pro, it was 200. We might see something similar to that. I don't
Yeah.
think exact. I bet it'll be a smaller
It'll
gap
probably
than that.
change a little bit.
Yeah,
Maybe.
but we'll see.
Yeah. But I'm excited for this.
Oh, dude, me too. This is gonna be so cool. Um, I will not
Yes.
be buying the 13 as much as I want a 5G phone. I won't.
Yes. I want it.
Same. But um, I still have the iPhone 11, like still pretty new. Like I said
Yeah.
before, I had my 6 until I got the 11, and I still could have probably gotten a whole nother life, a year's life out of that thing. So,
Yes. I
um,
will say that I will be waiting till the iPhone 13 comes out before buying an iPhone.
yeah.
But which one is the
So,
case?
as far as like getting the best bang for your buck, um,
Yes.
personally, I
I
would go with
thought,
the 11.
yeah.
Like,
I do agree with that. But also like 5G, like that would
yeah,
be
that well,
great to
oh, that's
have.
true. You're right. I didn't think about that.
That's the thing to think about.
I will say, um, I haven't missed having 5G too much.
Did you have
4G,
5G?
no. The iPhone 11 does not have 5G. That's the
Yeah.
problem with the 11. Now the 4G LTE still runs well,
Yes.
still is fast. 5G is basically like having an Ethernet for your phone, which is which is nice, but like
Yes.
the convenience is like incredible.
It
But
is.
I mean, it really depends on the price point. I will say
Yes.
it depends on the comparison between what the 11 and the 12 can offer. Um,
Yes.
the
I'm
11,
debating how much it's going to drop when 13 comes out.
yeah,
That's what I want to know.
we'll see. The iPhone, now I'll tell you, and I've told you this before, basically the iPhone 10, the jump in performance to the iPhone 11 was
Yes.
huge. And that jump of performance after that to the iPhone 12 just was not nearly as big as it
Yeah.
was from the 10 to 11.
Yeah.
So,
If I when I go to purchase a iPhone,
yeah.
I won't go anything lower than 11. I don't think I will.
Yeah. And that's definitely a wise decision. Most of the
Yes.
ones that you'll get by then will be like pretty used.
Yeah.
You know,
Battery life won't
right?
be
And like
very
the
good.
iPhone, like Daniel, um,
Yeah.
yeah, he had to use my phone yesterday because his iPhone 7 um, is it's literally a brick. Like
I believe
it
it.
does not turn on anymore. The set like the
Jeez.
basically the battery was charging, but the phone was not recognizing that it had a charge. I don't know how he managed to have that happen. I've never even heard of
That
that
could be the
happening.
charger, though.
No, I tried it with my charger too.
Oh,
Yeah,
jeez.
so he literally he took it to this to a repair shop and they told him like this is what it is. So
Jeez.
um, he will be getting a new phone soon, but yeah, like if you see things like that, like clearly the iPhone 7 is basically out of date, which means
Yes.
the only phones after that are the iPhone 8, and then you have the iPhone 10, the 10R, the 10s. Like,
Honestly, I think
so
when the 13 comes out, 10 and below will be like
become
no one's
obsolete.
going to buy
Yeah,
that. Like no one will buy those. I
right.
think it's going to be 11 and up.
So
People will only buy.
if we look at this, so when the iPhone um 12 came out, basically the iPhone 6 became completely obsolete. So when the iPhone 13 comes out, the iPhone 7 will become obsolete. So if you look at it,
Yes.
you have the 8, 10, 11, 12, 13. So if you split that down the middle, um, the 11 is kind of in the middle of that. And
Mhm.
so um, basically what that tells you is you've got at least two, and iPhones are becoming nicer now. So I
Oh
would
yeah.
say if you bought an 11, you would get to maybe 3 generations of iPhone before you'd really have to
Yeah.
buy another one. And this is
I'm gonna say
this is
that.
after the 13. So you
Yes.
have, iPhone 16. You might still be using your 11 and be okay.
Yeah. I'm gonna say this for the Google Pixel 6. Like my Google Pixel 3 or whatever I have, I think it's a 3. It still works well. It has some problems with it,
Yeah,
but
as any
I
phone
th-
does.
I think that when the iPhone 6 comes out, I think
iPhone 6.
I mean the Google Pixel
There
6.
you go.
I think the Google Pixel 3 will start to fade out a little
Yeah,
bit.
right.
And it'll just be maybe 4 and then 5 and 6.
Right.
Maybe 4.
Yeah.
And it's just I don't think Google Pixel stays as well as iPhone does
Yeah.
anymore, especially now.
Yeah, for sure. Um I remember the Google Pixel 3 being like really, really hype. Like it had a lot
Oh
of hype
yeah.
behind it. I
Yeah,
didn't
I
e-
enjoyed mine a lot.
and I
Like
didn't
I bought mine new
yeah.
and it's really good.
Oh yeah. And I heard like almost nothing about the Pixel 4 and Pixel 5.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything from
Yeah.
them.
This Pixel 6 seems like it might be gaining some traction again hype wise. We'll kind of have to see how it goes, how
Yes.
it does in the market. iPhone 13 is coming out first, so
Yeah.
that already having that start is an advantage. So
Yeah, I think if people are deciding between the iPhone 13 and Google Pixel 6, people will go with the iPhone because it's coming out fast. The design of it is better. You
better,
don't have that giant brick of a
right?
camera on the
I would
back of it.
and I would say overall specs for the iPhone are better.
Yes.
I know we don't have a whole lot of information on the CPU of the Pixel as far as number wise goes,
Yeah.
but I will say, uh, unless you're specifically looking for like a 2K display, or like I don't know, a really 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 nice camera, um, which those only you only get those on the 6 Pro,
Yeah.
which
And
costs
that's a
and
lot.
that costs a lot of money. So unless you're looking for specifically things like that, I would go with the iPhone 13. Um, price is just you know you're paying the right amount for what you're getting with the 13.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. If I would ever get the iPhone 13, it would be just the 13. It wouldn't be the mini, it wouldn't be the Pro, Pro Max, whatever.
yeah,
I just think that is literally the best for your buck.
yeah, for sure,
Like you still get the power of it.
exactly.
You don't need to get more power than you need with the Pro and Pro Max.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, and they all use the A15 chip,
yeah,
so no matter which one
you
you
still get
get,
that power.
you get the same processing and graphics power. Like I said, it's just about screen resolution
Yeah.
and camera.
Which I think it'll still look good just with
Oh
the
yeah, for
13.
sure.
Like,
I'm pretty sure mine's a full HD screen too, and
yeah,
it looks beautiful.
yeah.
And my camera, I've taken some beautiful pictures with this camera. I
Yeah.
don't need a third one. I mean, a third one would make it look even cooler. But even the iPhone 11 still has the nighttime camera on it. It has the low light
Mhm.
camera.
Yeah.
So, if I were to take pictures at night, I can still do that. So,
Yeah. Yeah. with the Google Pixel 6, I don't think they will sell as much as they think they will. They literally say 50% more. I don't think that's going to happen,
Yeah, I
honestly.
mean, I don't know. I think the market's been down for them because of
It
the
has.
4 and 5 were just not very successful. I
Yeah.
think I think they do have some advantages, like the beautiful screen, and like their tensor chip. There's just a lot of talk about that. And so I think just because of and the fingerprint thing under the screen. I
Yes.
forgot about that. That I think just the inventiveness, the innovation that they put into that phone, I think will bring interest to it.
Yes. I think there'll be more interest than what they have with the 4 and 5.
Agreed.
But I will say that I think them going with the Google Pixel 6, I think people will be fine with that.
Yeah.
Like, I think this is a good leap for Google Pixel to stay on.
Oh yeah.
And I think if they just keep improving and improving on that,
Yeah.
they will gain more traction
For sure.
and they will keep going up as opposed to what happened
Yeah.
to the 4 and 5.
Agreed. My biggest concern with the 6 um, and the 6 Pro is just the price.
Yes,
It's just too much.
it
That's
is.
and if the Pixel 6 and 6 Pro aren't as successful as they could have been or as they're predicting or whatever, it's literally going to be because of the price.
Yes,
That
they
that
do need to lower it.
that has to
Like,
be the reason.
yeah,
They just can't compete with it. That's just not a competitive enough price.
yeah. I think you get more with the iPhone, and it's cheaper than the base model. Like for the Google Pixel, like you can't compete with that.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, I
Yeah,
think that about wraps up our discussion
yeah.
on.
For me, I would go with the iPhone 13 instead of the Pixel, and I absolutely really liked my Pixel 3.
I also would be going with the iPhone 13. Just a quick, uh, brief thing about Samsung as well. Um, Samsung still doesn't have like Face ID on their stuff. They've failed to implement that technology. I know Google Pixel, but Google Pixel is still being innovative with their fingerprint under the touchscreen. I'm pretty sure the Galaxy S21 is still just a fingerprint on the back thing. Um, which I mean, keeping it simple is fine.
Yeah,
Um,
yes, some people like that,
yep, but
and
um,
they do sell, so I don't blame them.
like I did say before, you know, the the chip, the iPhone chip is supposed to be 75% faster than Samsung's, which is just
That's insane.
unbelievably insane. Um, so as far as that goes, yeah, performance with iPhone is just sometimes unparalleled, and part of that
Yes.
is they use iPhone uses Qualcomm, which I think also works closely with Intel. I'm a PC guy. Intel by far makes some of the most powerful makes the most powerful processors in the world.
Yeah,
So
they do a really good
um,
job.
they yeah. So but yeah, that's basically it.
Yep. That's really all we have on these two phones.
Yeah, that's I mean that's it. If you're
Yeah.
looking for a new phone, if you're in the new phone market right now, I would recommend the iPhone 13. Um,
Yes.
I know there's some people that like I need to have this or I need to have this. So in those cases, take a look at other phones.
Yes.
But if you're looking for just an overall really good phone to have as a new phone, I would go with the iPhone 13.
Yes, and I would go with just the 13. I don't think you need the Pro and Pro Max.
Yeah,
Like, I don't think
right.
you need to spend that on this new phone.
I know. Yeah, you basically to go from the 13 to the 13 Pro, you're paying $200 for like an extra circle on the back of your phone and a faster screen, basically, which
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's already pretty quick, so
Yep.
I think you'll be fine.
Right. Exactly. Alrighty. But I guess that's it
Yeah.
for today. So,
Yep.
thanks y'all for listening, and we'll see you next time on JNT. That's how it be.
Peace.